Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the desk this afternoon. We've got another North American match for you today. We saw an interesting one just now. 14 minutes, huh?
14 minutes. GG, well played. Branching bowler, OP. That's all you need to know about that game, pretty much.
Yeah, it was. Well. SoaR on the top end of the standings these days. They're sitting in 1, 2, 3, and they've been wrestling along in that area for a while. Right now, they're solidified at number 2. 13 wins. They're going to try and make it 15, which would put them in the number 1 spot for now. But
they're against Allegiance. And Allegiance, let's be honest, they've struggled this season. A lot of the time, they've really struggled. They've not managed to find the roster they want together. They started off with one, they've switched it up again, and now today, they're going to take the same 5 members they've got and then move them around.
Right, we're going to see another shakeup for the guys on ALG. This time, Incon's going to go back to his original natural position of support in the effort to find a shot caller. Mattypocket was talking about that a little bit on stream, and now with Incon over in the support role, hopefully there will be more communication and vocality coming out from the players, and then Makey winds up in the mid.
So what it seems was Makey was brought in as a shot caller from the support role, but he wasn't confident in the SPL style of play, and he wasn't confident enough to make the calls then. So what he chose to do was bring Incon back to support because he can shot call from the support role. It's a bit difficult from the mid lane to do that. I think that's the only reason we've seen the switch.
Well, with Incon in the mid lane, we've seen a whole lot of Zeus. As we get to picks and bans, let's see if Makey sticks to it or if he goes a different direction.
Looking for that detonate for the secure, and it's going to go to Allegiance. It's stolen. That might have been Incon.
No follow-up from the rest of Allegiance. Oh, there comes the Kraken. It's going to find 4. Lassiz takes out Panda.
Nice shots from Oceans as well. What the hell was that?
Left side, order side, SoaR G2A will be the team that's got your first pick and your first ban. Allegiance on the other side, as we said, with some role swaps, there might be some different picks coming out.
And that's what we're going to be careful when we talk about Allegiance this game, about what they're going to pick and ban. Obviously, Incon going back to the support role, Makey in mid. What's Makey's god pool going to be like is the first thing. And, well, first of all, they won't let him play that Raijin.
Yep, SoaR taking one of the burst mages off the table here with Raijin, and then Ao Kwang not going to be available for anybody. We've seen Homiefe really run rampant on the mage assassin, so no Dragon King, and then no Soul either, says SoaR.
I want to see if Allegiance ended up banning Khepri here, because we've seen come out from Jigz so far this season. He's focused very much on Sobek and Khepri as his god pull, and with that going through, I can see, SoaR look into that one.
Yeah, Hurriwind also has been performing pretty well on these large burst damage gods, so Zeus take it away. Although Hurriwind has played a number of different things over the course of the season, so it's a little bit problematic to try and target him.
I like the focus onto the Ao Kwang, though, from Allegiance. A lot of the games in a row SoaR have picked up the Ao Kwang for Homiefe in the jungle. For the most part, he's a very focused on killing jungler. The only one that he's not really gone for, well, the one that he's not as killing on is Thor, where it's a bit more supportive, but he's going to lock that in here.
Yeah, Thor can go really in either direction, and as Hindu was saying, I think we'll see a more aggressive Thor. And then to match the globalization that SoaR is walking into, Team Allegiance will select Athena, one of Incon's more particularly strong gods, and then Janus will be selected most likely for MrMakey in that mid.
Well, if this is going the way it's planned, then I expect to see Apollo from SoaR come out just to keep the globals available for all the teams. But it will be Isis in the mid lane for Hurriwind this game.
Yeah, he's going to look for that early game pressure one more time. Isis and Thor was a real staple of the beginning of Season 3, just going back just a couple of weeks. A couple of changes and a couple of different things going on in the jungle here or there. We've seen teams really move away from these two picks, but still, SoaR, they want that early game power, so they'll pick the Isis and the Thor. They've got one more pick for the first half of picks and bans.
It will be the Khepri once again. Going over to Jigz, it's been Sobek and Khepri the whole season for him. We'll see where Incon ends up going to here. When the last we saw him over in the support role, Incon was heading towards the Kumbhakanas. But there is an Athena already. We'll see if it is going to go there. I don't trust it all the time, though.
No, I mean, you've got good reason to bring up that line of conversation, because Lassiz really is the true Athena jungle. I mean, there's a number of players that have really tried it, but that number of players is small. It's really all Lassiz. And then Anhur has been really all of the aggressive hunters, the ones that want to go ahead and punch you in the face. Anhur is the one they're picking up.
When I think of Oceans right now, I think of Anhur and I think of Apollo. They're the two
Yep.
that I mentioned every single time I want to see him go to. Osiris banned out to take away Baskin's option there to that. But to be fair, do you want to hear Baskin's God pull so far this season?
Osiris?
You ready? Vamana, Bellona, Osiris, Hercules, Raven, Sun Wukong, Tyr. That's what he's played so far this season, this Baskin kid.
So he just kind of goes to the drop-down menu, selects Warrior, and then...
Well, if he's playing Gotta Catch 'Em All, right? He's only got to complete the whole set of warriors. He's only got Chuck, Amaterasu, Odin, and Guan to do.
Well, I mean, Guan, Odin, Amaterasu were all strong
All
picks.
viable.
And Chalk, I mean, Chalk has been played in the SPL.
Just got buffed.
That's true.
Thanatos banned out by SoaR. I like that ban. They've basically been hitting Lassiz with the bans and picks here because Thor was one of Lassiz's go-tos as well as the Nezha and the Thanatos as well.
And
so we could see that Athena jungle potentially.
It's possible. Thanatos also is a very strong god, particularly against Khepri with the shield and the revive, and the Raven will be the selection for Team Allegiance. That'll most likely go over to Mr. Mattypocket, but options still open.
Xbalanque once again. The rise of Xbalanque has been strong, and we saw the power of it with Visham last game where he stole a Gold Fury with a branching bowler against an I'm a Monster.
I don't know
and
if
a
that's
lurking in the waters.
I don't know if that's the strength of the
Oh, it is.
Xbalanque.
It is. Xbalanque, I said to Toli as well, right? Xbalanque basic attacks last season secured more Gold Furies than any other ability in the game.
Wow. That's a good stat.
That's a crazy stat to have, right? I'm pretty sure it was 15 towards the end of the season.
Oh, boy.
15.
Oh, boy. And speaking of boy, Vamana.
That's a baby, not a boy.
The baby.
Baby boy.
There you go. The baby boy will be playing in the solo lane, so a pretty nice even setup coming out from SoaR, and we'll see a Mercury coming out from Team Allegiance, so likely to be the Merc in the jungle.
Not seen too much from from NA in terms of Mercury in the jungle so far, but Europe have been running it a lot with pretty good success. A lot of people underestimating the sort of itemization available for a Mercury now. There's multiple items that will give him plus 20% movement speed. Not only items, the speed buff is back.
Yeah, there's going to be a whole bunch to set Mercury up in a good spot, but Khepri can save the life of anybody that Mercury aggresses on. We'll get into the game. SoaR versus Team Allegiance right about now. It's going to force Jigz under the tower. Doesn't get any stuns, but we don't need stuns. We've got damage. Hurriwind catches 2 in the current.
Andy coming back in, looking for the thunder step. Immediately Eagles rally. Andy will not get the kill. Baskin survives, and now they're diving for Baskin potentially hit. Blink from Pinnacle, they're trying to force this enemy. This is a mistake because Homiefe
Double kill.
So as we go into game one here, boys and girls, for you fans at home, SoaR defeated Allegiance 2-0 the last time they faced. In the last 4 games SoaR played, they are now 8-0. Meanwhile, Allegiance, in the last 4 games they have played, they are 1-7. For you stat monkeys out there, your money's probably on SoaR in this one.
Now, right away, we're following around Lassiz. One of the big changes coming on to Mercury this time around with the advent of the relic system, really, is we're going to see more red pot Mercuries. Once upon a time when Mercury was in the meta, you used to see a lot of sprints come out because the contribution to speed is actually more so than the red buff or the red pot. But in this world where you only get 1 relic all the way up until level 12, you really need that purification.
But most of the time we've seen sprints still come out for even more damage early on. Lassiz
Right.
gone for the safer option here with the purification earlier on. We'll see how it works out for him in the jungle this time around. Obviously, Incon going to be on the Athena and MrMakey in the mid lane as the Janus. He's gone for Power Pot 2 as Makey here to go along with that Soulstone.
And that's going to be the biggest change here for Allegiance, will be their mid laner, MrMakey. Incon, like I said, Incon, this is his natural position. I think a lot more eyes are on Makey this time around.
I agree.
This is going to be the second time he's going to have to prove himself here.
We say that he's going to prove himself this year because last year he played as a substitute for Cloud9 and he went into multiple roles then too. So this guy, he's been around the scene for a while as Makey, multiple roles. How strong is his mid lane though? Because to be fair, for most players, there's always one role that you probably call your donkey role, and hopefully Makey's is not the mid lane.
It's not. We've seen Makey play, like you said, mid lane specifically on a higher level. Naturally a solo laner, so Makey's idea of the 1v1 potential in the lanes is definitely there. And as far as it comes to the actual mage technicalities, well, Makey definitely doesn't have a problem hitting his unstables, so we're off to a good look.
I like this style from both teams here, because every single game we've seen differences in jungler mentality. Do you go to duo lane and farm, solo lane and farm a wave, or do you contest the mid harpies and pick him up? Well, Lassiz is dead.
Yeah, they're just going to contest Lassiz. Hurriwind gets the first blood as SoaR picks up both sides of the Harpies left and right. Allegiance off to a bad start.
Well, as I was saying, you know, Lassiz went to solo lane, soaked a wave of experience, then did the fire imps as well. Makes a rotation to mid a little bit off the mark with the throw, and then because of that, gets highly punished by Isis and Thor.
Left side Harpies, as I said, will go to SoaR. And there won't be anything Allegiance can do about it after that first blood onto the jungler. Lassiz is going to be down just a little bit. Hey! Lassiz will buy a second red pot.
Oh. Is that a second one, or is it still the same one?
I would imagine it's the second one. I would imagine it's the second one.
It looks like the second one. Yeah, you're correct. So go for the second power pot here early on to try and keep the pressure on, but that's 900 gold invested.
Yeah, that's a little rough. We saw Anderson do that once upon a time, and it worked out in a regular season match, so maybe it goes this way.
Yo, that
Xbalanque looking for the stack, and there it is. Branching Bola is correct.
See,
you are
see,
correct.
all you need is branching bowler. I'm going to point out, though, this is a very good play from both teams there. Incon got a good turn onto Yankee, but Yankee didn't panic too much there. He waited for Oceans to leap and then used Rising Jaguar to avoid the damage and the knock-up and turn it back around. In response, though, Oceans' pillar was on point.
Yeah.
Just wasn't enough, though, because branching bowler is an OP skill and needs nerfing.
Well, we actually see 2 points in it coming out from Metyankey, so did that actually be enough to secure the kill? I don't know if it's relevant just yet.
Needs nerfing after.
But Metyankey stacking on the first ability instead of the poison darts. Usually, even with the throwing dagger coming out, we have seen a number of Xbalanque players still go the route of maxing those poison darts. But Metyankey switching up a little bit, going to maximize the damage of those basic attacks.
We should see him go back to base and pick up throwing dagger there for himself as well. Golden bow completed from throwing dagger. And obviously with one stack online as well, that extra 5 power will come in handy in the early stages.
Yeah, this is really why Xbalanque tends to build into the Ninja tabby, actually, instead of the Warrior tabby, depending on the situation, because he's able to find some of the power you want to amplify your basic attacks off of the passive. So by going to Ninja, you just attack more.
They're trying to catch Maki or Lassiz in the jungle here. Hurriwind going to be off the mark with the Spirit Ball there. But still 3 members here, got to contest, and there's only 2 at the moment of Allegiance. However, Incon does have his ultimate.
Homie just takes the damage from the mid lane. There's the ultimate out of the jungles. SoaR, Homiefe uses the purification. And Allegiance look like they're going to be fine on their speed, but a different story as Hurriwind gets smoked up. Jigz from nowhere, all the way far away, finds the revive.
Meanwhile, though, Homiefe dives the backside, finds the double tap onto Lassiz for a 3rd kill for the side of SoaR. Can he get out of the danger, though, is the question. The route is on point from Jigz, and Hurriwind's support with Baskin will allow him to survive for now, but Mackey's like, no, boys, no, calm down.
The Khepri body blocks coming out of Jigz, so powerful to preserve the life of Homiefe just a little bit. Hurriwind's going to miss a Spirit Ball, but it doesn't matter. Baskin shows up, and 4 members of SoaR share a kill onto the mid lane. 5-1 in just 4 minutes of play. SoaR looking very aggressive today.
Yeah, it's a 2-for-1 trade in the jungle there. Taking into account Lassiz lost his power pot again. He also did pick up his speed buff, but it's not going to be available for him to use now after that going down. The combo from Lassiz and Incon was pretty much on point, but they didn't have any follow-up after that. That was all they seemed to have. They didn't manage to find the kill on Homiefe, which could have changed the tail of that battle.
Yeah, they sort of looked at the step right in front of them instead of the second and third step after the fact, understanding that SoaR was inevitably going to respond. And when SoaR responded, they responded in many numbers. Lassiz got a great ultimate off, but SoaR was unable to. SoaR, unfortunately, for Allegiance and their fans, capitalized in the other direction.
And Baskin was Baskin. Turned up to the fight at the right time, picked up a kill for his team. Actually, 2 kills in that engagement and 1 assist. So Baskin now gets a lead because poor old Mattypocket, well, he turned up, but it didn't work out.
Not quite at all. Hurriwind now underneath his tower, doing relatively fine, leading by about half a level above MrMakey.
Yeah, has his helm online already, so he's not too worried about being pressured by Lassiz and the major looks, which can come out for a little bit of poke damage. I want to see where Lassiz transitions his build to, because we've seen a little bit of the newest item, Wind Demon, coming out on these Mercuries just for the extra poke. Obviously, the crit is valuable, as well as the movement speed that comes with that crit.
And that's really the key there, is that movement speed proc that you see, 20% on both on the passive over there, and what that allows Mercury to do. Obviously, the passive of Merc comes into conversation, but by picking that up as a second item, you can build into more and more crit, be more and more effective. Great stun coming out. Lassiz on the wrong side of the wall, and there's the dash away. Lassiz will live. MrMakey just as well, but very close to death. Allegiance find themselves.
Yeah, Allegiance just going to have to retreat there. They are the ones that went aggressive with Incon's taunt. The damage was good, but at the right time, Hurriwind showed his face, and that just swung things back in favor of SoaR. So for now, it's still even.
Nothing going on as far as the objectives are concerned, which seems like something I shouldn't have to say, but given the past 2 weeks of competition here in the SPL, that Gold Fury has been attacked more times at 5 and 6 minutes than I can really ever recall.
Well, there is ward coverage down for Allegiance at the moment, so they're not too worried about that. SoaR's just got that ward to the left-hand side. Harpies here as an opportunity for themselves. And you can see Incon returning towards mid lane. Incon gone for the Shoes of Focus into Watchers. He's going to lose the game based off the fact he's put Watchers Gift in his second spot.
You guys always say that, but that's Raffer's preferred approach. So I don't know about that one, Hinder.
I'll be honest, I started doing that when I first started playing the game back in the day, and everyone told me off for it and said you lose games because of that. And when I switched it, I seem to win more. I'm now at 51% win rate, so you know.
Well, Raffer's at near 100% win rate.
Rafa gets carried. We all know that. It's 4 men and Rafa. That's what it is. The 4 heroes and the Warrington lad.
I don't know about that one. Raffer and his team, if you guys missed yesterday's European matches, previously Epsilon, now Panthera, they're going to be headed over to DreamHack. They are the only team in the entire SPL that has confirmed a spot. So only 2 spots over in Europe still remaining. SoaR are competing for one of those in North America, though.
They did it with 2 weeks to spare as well, I think is the biggest reason we're mentioning it. 2 weeks to spare in the Pro League, and they're already guaranteed to go. It doesn't matter about position. However, that will factor in. But look at Baskin and his aggressiveness. Lassiz being poked out after getting his speed buff one more time. Level 8 at the moment. Going to be forced back to base one more time.
Yeah, this is what Baskin does. He gets a lead right now, 2 levels above his opposition, Mattypocket, and he just takes it and he runs with it.
And by doing what he just did there, he's now allowed his team to swing in and steal away Mattypocket's blue. Mattypocket's tower is already at half health as well. So it's all good stuff. It's all coming up SoaR right now.
Yeah, everybody understands that you take a look at the mid lane, and Hurriwind is dancing with the mid laner and the support over by the left-hand Harpies. And with Lassiz back at base, there just isn't any people to come and contest right now. Bunch of poke damage given out.
Poor Mackie had to use Purification there as well. He held his through space and time, but look at Homiefe. He's just going to run straight through this jungle, hunting him down. He's going to look for a double tap, try and close the gap. Mackie now recognizes how under pressure he is. Homiefe may still consider doing this. It's risky, but I think they're just going to go for the better option, which is the Gold Fury.
Lassiz shows up, drops a ward, but everybody on SoaR has already started the Gold Fury. It's going to pop, and it's going to go down 5-1 of the kills.
Branching Bowler, you can't contest it. There's just no point.
It's definitely Branching Bowler, and of course, not the Circle of Protection.
Of course not Circle of Protection. You don't understand the amount of damage Branching Bowler could do. 3,000 gold lead now for SoaR. 5-1 at less than 10 minutes in. They've got their own jungle to go and take after, well, looking to invade and strip away the enemy's one just then.
And look at that player damage at Baskin. And it's always brought up that it's just solo lane poke. It's just these guys going back and forth and back and forth. Well, that's usually the story when the 2 solo laners are very close to each other. Almost 2,000 player damage above above Mattypocket is Baskin, and that's just what we were talking about. Baskin being the bully in that side lane, doing whatever he wants to do.
Well, it's also the fact he's been involved in 3 kills as well, which doesn't really happen in the solo lane. So you look at the damage, you're like, oh yeah, it's just general poke. Do like what we saw out of Allegiance though. They went and invaded the red buff on this left-hand side, stole that one away, get themselves a little bit more gold back against SoaR, try and hold them on a little bit. But the lead is starting to develop a little bit too much, and that Baskin gank just a little off the mark from Lassiz.
Can't find it, finds the second wrap, and they're going to throw him at the wall. Baskin very low right now, does have the ultimate available to him if he chooses, and there it is, up in the big baby. He's going to go ahead and heal up. Jigz shows up as well. Mattypocket gets stunned from the Xbalanque ult. Athena will show up, but it's a little bit too late. Mattypocket already has a ton of damage dealt, and he's going to fall.
Homiefe gets the kill. Good pluck from Lassiz though, but the wall's better from Homiefe, and he'll get himself a double kill off that as well. The revive comes out from Jigz, which keeps Baskin alive, and now Homiefe going to get himself a triple kill.
The Iron Homie back in action. 3 kills in the Thor in that one engagement directly to the speed buff. 4-1-2 currently for Homiefe.
Now, he's 4-1-2, but all credit for that whole fight goes down to Baskin.
Yep.
Baskin was getting ganked by Lassiz. Lassiz with a very good play, honestly, to find that max range stun with the throw. But what Baskin did is he held his ultimate. He just popped Meditate and kept fighting Matty, and Matty agreed to take the fight still. And while that was happening, SoaR was making the rotation over, and finally, he pops Big Baby, starts running into him, and it forces Incon's ult as well as the whole team of SoaR collapsing to help.
Yeah, and then just cleaning it up. The big man himself, Iron. There he is. Homiefe That was his first triple kill of the game. And I say first because with the way he's playing, I kind of anticipate a little bit more. But it's not going to happen here. Thrown against the wall. 3 players are going to hit him. And he finds a way out with the hammer. Jigz shows up, and so does Hurriwind. Stun out. Not going to find the mark is MrMakey. And Allegiance with almost a pick. One of the stronger picks that they needed to find. But Thor able to wiggle his way out.
That could put you on tilt just a little bit. All that pressure soak. They do get purification, though, off Hurriwind on the Isis in mid lane. But Lassiz getting abducted forces a big disengage from Allegiance. You just saw Metyankey there using Darkest of Nights to try and find a pick.
Yeah, looking for the turnaround. Not going to find it, though, SoaR. And we'll sort of retreat
but
back
go
to
back to that pick on Homiefe then. That was technically 3. They're just very unlucky to find the kill. And that can tilt you sometimes, especially when he's just picked up a triple kill against you. You respond, you could potentially get some gold back for yourselves and the shutdown bonus, but not today.
A lot of jungle denial coming out from SoaR here, taking away the red buff one more time away from Allegiance. So really, just a lot of invades. We've seen a lot of aggression on the enemy side of the map on this particular patch.
I'll tell you what I'm starting to see a little bit more from SoaR, though. Pantera's playstyle.
Elaborate. How do you mean?
Every single time I see them, they fight as a unit, they engage deep, they get out with low health all the time because they juggle aggro well. The communication must be very good for that to happen too.
Yeah.
It's very much the style of Panthera has over in Europe.
Yeah, one of the biggest things that I've always noticed about Panthera is that their time to assist is very, very low. When somebody is in trouble, they need the assistance right away, somebody will show up, whether it's via a global ultimate or not. They just always seem to be in the area. Same thing that we're seeing at a SoaR with that Baskin play specifically right before.
Well, Baskin, a little bit different than Dimmy. I'll say Dimmy will look for the fight in the lane and make the rotations to the fights.
Right.
Baskin's definitely one of the Omega styles. He'll go in the jungle, he'll steal away your stuff in the jungle and keep the pressure on that way. Ocean's under pressure. Very good Desert Fury from him, though. And Makey with a very good rotation to force them away. But it's not going to come to much here as the pings you saw come out from Hurriwind there were onto Lassiz just in case he was going to look for that ultimate.
Sprint's going to be down on the side of SoaR on Homiefe. No, Homiefe has the Sunder. My mistake. The Sprint is on the Khepri. So we've got the Thor at the Sunder.
Little bit overconfident there from Homiefe.
No, I like the Sunder.
Listen, I say overconfident, but at the same time, Thor is probably one of the only gods in the game, in the jungle, that you only need purification on. Everything else, the secondary relic is a flex pick. You see Andinsta for the most part. He loves his teleportation to get around the map. Others like, well, I'm just going to say blink them, but you don't. You see Sanctuary sometimes. You see other things, curses as well.
I like the Sunder.
But Homiefe, well, he's going for the raw damage option.
Well, the Sunder, yeah, it's raw damage, but it also allows Mattypocket to be killed. Mattypocket's going to be one of the only real true frontliners with Athena there, right? The change to Mercury instead of a Thor or a Hunbats or a Fenrir, there's just not a lot of tanky options. It's just Incon and Mattypocket, and Incon's going to be healing. So Mattypocket is one of the main frontliners. That Sunder is going to tear right through Ravana.
And if you think about the combo that Homiefe technically has, he's got the dunk as he gets taunted, actually an unforced purification, but he can dunk into Sunder, into throw hammer, wall, get hammer back, berserker barrage, and all that Sunday is going through as well.
And now it makes Mattypocket a viable option if Homiefe wants to go and aggress on that. It's a lot of flat damage, it's a lot of penetration or protections removed, and everybody's just sort of squishy.
Well, we saw Master at the start of this season on a Thanatos at 2-shot somebody because of the Sunder that was available to him. So, and I believe that was against a Poseidon. We'll see what he can do this game round now. Homiefe and the boys have sought a very good position at 8-1 so far in this game.
I like Sunder, man. I think it is. I don't think it's under-purchased. I think it's very specifically applicable.
You see, sometimes, right, I like it when you go, I like, but then you say, I like Chak in mid. And then that just makes me like, every time I hear you say, I like something, I'm like, I have to really think about it properly, Tom, before I agree with you.
Well, there's a strong taunt into the damage out of Lassiz's ult, but the shell popped immediately on top of the Isis ult. Makes that a very tough situation for Allegiance to fight into. Homiefe cleans up one on the back, and somebody else cleans one up on the front.
There was just no need for that.
Oh, he's going aggressive.
And now Oceans is in trouble as well. You only get hit by the stun, the wall on point, 2 autos at a time. He saved his hammer and just beat him down. He's just like smashing him with a hammer. Doof, doof.
Everything there was intelligent. Homiefe stays, instead of doing the traditional combo that we're used to seeing, saves his hammer, like you said, able to follow up on top of the Anhur jump, and then as soon as Anhur goes to turn around for the impale, Berserker's barrage going around, so there's no pushback. SoaR winds up over 10,000 gold. Allegiance's senior just here at 15.5.
tell you what, I need to maybe take a look at removing their F6 keys right now, because the Serenova just came out there for Allegiance. I don't know if he's going to go through, but second Gold Fury of the game. Going to go the way of SoaR here, and they've controlled it since the start. Lassiz getting picked at the beginning of the game, really put them on the back foot for a moment or two. There were small signs of life from Allegiance, but not enough to really, you know, make it back. The small drop on the kill on Homiefe as well after the triple kill that he picked up, it's just all coming up the way of SoaR.
And this is what I love about Thor specifically, and as we see Homiefe build him. You know, you said in the picks and bans, we're used to seeing some of the more aggressive characters, and we mention all the time that Thor is very flexible. But honestly, we see more of the defensive side, the warrior side of Thor. This right here, this build, Jotuns into more penetration and power, into a Titan's Bane after this. This is Assassin Thor.
But I don't think he wanted to necessarily have to pick Thor here. I think it was more to deal with Lassiz. Lassiz's god pool, what we've seen so far over this season has been Thor, Awilix, Thanatos, and Najar. They banned Thanatos, they banned Najar, they left Awilix up, but they took the Thor away as well. It worked out well.
Sure. I think it was more, honestly, I just think it was more about Thor's just Thor. Thor's just that damn good. We saw what happens when a Thor is really, truly allowed to dictate the pace of the game. 6 kills and only a single death on Homiefe. He looked very, very strong.
I don't mind a salty run back coming out from Allegiance this game. Their picks and bans were fine. I don't think there was anything wrong with it. Mercury pick was okay. I just think they need to get off to a better start this time round. If the start is a little bit better, we could see a different game.
Maybe not.